Hey, Angie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Cara. How are you?
Super good. I'm so happy to be on with you. This is
I am
definitely the
great.
best part of my day. Awesome. Well, there's 15 people watching with us.
Oh,
Hi,
great.
everyone. Say hi in the comments. Let us know where you're from. Let's do something interesting. Can you tell me one thing that you are glad about for this week, thankful about for this week? So, one thing you're thankful about that's already happened today or this week, or you're looking forward to, we'd love to celebrate that with you. So today we are on talking about excellence in the supernatural online mentorship. Okay, Raina said her job. Now I'm going to get all caught up in what everybody's saying. This is so exciting. Angie and I were backstage talking about the goodness of God, and she's actually working on a book on that subject matter. And it's so important to remain focused on the good things. All right, Raina says she's thankful for her job. Super awesome. So thankful for life. Me too. Me too. Oh, we have another Houston person. Angie's from Houston. Do you know Vani Martinez?
I do not, but I'd like to.
Okay. Well, Vonnie, you got to get to know Angie. She's a pastor and has a church in the area. All right, back to business. Keep me on straight on the line. Okay, excellent. So we're talking about the mentorship. This mentorship has been a blessing to my life and for Angie also. So I've been in it for 4 years. Angie, how long have you been in it?
I'm finishing up my second year. I believe
Okay.
it's year. Yeah.
Wait, I'm going on my 4th year. I've only been in it 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool. You've been in it 2 years. Angie, what I love about you is you do have a church in Houston. You are a senior pastor. But this mentorship has people from all kinds of walks. We have new believers, we have senior pastors. I'm curious to know, as a senior pastor, what draws you to the mentorship, really?
I think that one of the things that draws me to it is just growth. I think if we get to a place in our walk with Christ where we stop growing, that we've 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 kind of become stale in a relationship with.
Uh-huh.
And I think when you're in a mentorship and you're in a group of people that are um, pressing into the Lord, pressing in the same direction, you're going to grow. You're absolutely going to grow, and that's one of the reasons I am in the mentorship. I wanted to grow, and I think too, with it came a refreshing of purpose, not only for me, but I've seen it in other people in the group. I've
Mm.
actually seen the growth in people in the group, which is very exciting. So I would say that's probably one of the main reasons I'm in it. And I think too, just accountability in the things of God. And so, anyway.
I love that. Well, I would love to hear what's on your heart and really how this mentorship has impacted your life.
It has caused me to step up, I would say, in a big area in the prophetic. I love the prophetic. I am prophetic. I think recognizing the way that God speaks to you and the language that He has, because we all have like our personal language with the Lord, and just recognizing those things like, oh, wow, that was God. That was God speaking to me. And that He cares so much to communicate with us on a level that's so personal. And so, me in the prophetic, I'm a worship leader. And so, I have stepped out quite a bit more in the prophetic and giving prophetic words, singing prophetic songs, and even in the everyday. So, like this past week, I went to a baby shower, and this woman was expecting twins, her first babies, and I began to speak and prophesy over her, not only her, but her babies. And it was really cool because I could feel that stirring up inside of me because they were, one of the ladies there was asked to just pray over her. And as she's praying, I began to feel a stirring in my heart and began to give a prophetic word over her. So it was really, really cool to see how God ministers in that respect.
Wow. And so before this mentorship, where were you kind of in stepping out and all that stuff?
Um, I let other people step out.
Yeah.
I kind of stayed, I stayed kind of behind the scenes. I was a good backup singer, And honestly, Cara, I had been hurt by leadership. And so I just shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And when Jennifer came to town in 2020, she came did to our conference in 2020, our women's conference. She prophesied over me, and since that day, since that weekend, there has been so much that has opened up in my life, and just being in the prophetic, being in the mentorship has caused me to step out in a great way, and it's also a safe place to practice, because when you are stepping out in the prophetic, you got to practice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to practice. You have to practice listening. You got to practice stepping out, and it is absolutely a safe place to practice. And so it's been a genuinely beautiful experience being in the mentorship, and I love it. I love the Word of God, and I just love what it's all about.
So, well, that might be my sound. Okay, well, I think it stopped, so we'll just pay attention to whatever that was. But Jenn, she has so many different trainings. I'm very curious if even like, have you been able to take kind of like her teachings or models and like take it back to your church and shift any way you were doing something and kind of make it into remodel it after a different type of prayer model or prophetic coaching, or have you been able to kind of recycle any of that material in your church?
I don't know if I would say recycle as much as I would say just stepping out and being bold and being brave. I think that it's actually pulled giftings out of me that have lain dormant.
Uh-huh.
And two, in the mentorship, to me, intentionality plays a really big part, because you have to be intentional in stepping out and stepping forward. And there have been things, desires in my heart that have actually been pulled out of my heart for the good, almost been in hiding, or laying dormant. Probably is a good way to phrase it. One of those things is writing a book. I took one of her writing sword e-courses 2 years ago, and I'm just now writing my book. But you know what? It's taken me that long to work through whatever I needed to work through. And God knew. Good. I mean, He plants a seed, and we don't get a harvest for the very first day. Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes that seed needs to lay dormant until the perfect conditions are there for it to begin to flourish. So, I took the e-course, and now I'm writing the book. Probably a year and a half later, I started a business. That's one thing that has been pulled out of me as well. It's almost like the fear factor thing has been hit really hard, and so I'm stepping out on things that have been in my heart, but
Mhm.
I haven't really stepped into. And so starting a business is one thing. Stepping out in social media, that's a biggie for me, because I'm like, if they like me, fine. If they don't, fine. I'm okay with that, But I have to realize too that I have an influence as much as anybody else, and so I just felt a really a yearning to step out in social media, but I didn't know how to or where to go or what to do. And just watching Jennifer and watching how she navigates the social media was inspiring. It was refreshing,
Um,
mm, and so that really blessed me.
I think that's really cool that you said that. It was, what did you say? It was inspiring for you to even just watch her. Like watching her teach, I have really grown even in my own. It's just like, like sometimes I catch myself mimicking her. I'm like, where did that mannerism? It's Jenn. I watch her so much,
Yeah.
but watching her, she's very spiritually intelligible, like
Yeah.
understands how to, well, she works very hard on finding, she calls it Greeking it out or languaging it out, she works very, very hard at finding those words, which in the prophetic community, sometimes we don't work as hard as we need to on that. And so I so appreciate that she does that. And I love what you said of how it brings out giftings and dreams and calling, because I had absolutely no idea before joining her mentorship that I had such a heart for evangelism, let alone the guts to go and give it a try.
Yeah.
And so now, like a year ago, I was the biggest introvert, biggest scaredy cat. And now I'm actually the one putting together teams in my city. And so this mentorship, you will come in not knowing what lies under the surface and what God is going to call out. And it's just amazing to see.
I think too, one of the things that I have gleaned from the mentorship is that it causes you to hone in on the season that you're actually in. So, for instance, maybe about a month, 2 months ago, I heard in my spirit, the Lord said, "Where are my Elizabeths?
Yeah.
Where are my Elizabeths? There's plenty of Marys out there, but where are my Elizabeths?" And it struck a chord in me, because I'm going to be 60 in a couple of months, and in the natural, what I see around me, that's kind of the time women really kind of shut down. They're they're finished with raising their own children. Their grandchildren are aging and no longer have that kind of contact. And so it's almost like we put an expiration date on our life. And why? God never puts an expiration date on us. Never. And as for our purpose and our destiny, Elizabeth was well into her. It says, what is the word that we use? Basically, she was an old woman, way past the age of childbearing, and yet God said, "No, this is your season." And so I really feel like this mentorship has brought me to a point to hone in on the season that I'm in.
That's
And
good.
really bring a laser sharp focus to where I need to be in the kingdom of God and the purposes of God for my life right now. And so that's what I love about it. That's why I'm sticking with it, because it keeps me sharp. It keeps me on my toes. She had said a few weeks ago, you just catch things that in your spirits, like zing, it's like, oh, what was that? One of the things she said is, make your car a university. And I thought, that is so brilliant, because
Yeah.
always on the go. We're always running, ripping and running. And it's like, put that teaching on your car. In Houston, we drive everywhere and it takes a long time. So, it takes me 30 minutes to get to church. And so you can get a lot packed in a small amount of time. And so, and who knows what the Holy Spirit can do in your car.
I think that's right. I remember her saying that, and I was like, I love podcasts and sermons, and YouTube like makes it so easy these days.
Yeah.
Like, we live in such a really blessed time. Earlier, we asked people to comment in what they're thankful for. Sometimes my recurring comment of thankfulness is, thank you that I wasn't born in the 1800s. This is definitely my time. So, but really, it's so easy with YouTube and Spotify and all that stuff to constantly be learning and filling yourself. And Jenn really preaches that and models that. She's like, turn your car into a university. She hardly watches TV. But, and then, so what is it that really sharpens you in this group? Is it being around other people? Is it just the teachings seem to be very timely? The activation? How is it that it really sharpens you?
I think one of the things that I'm reminded of in the scriptures, it says it's a common salvation. So we all deal with the same common fears or concerns or what ifs. And just to know that others are in the group having the same thoughts as me, wondering, should I not, should I? And just pressing into the unknown, I think, seeing others press into the unknown, seeing others press into their purpose, seeing others press into their destiny and their giftings. It's incredible. So like you, for instance, Cara, I have seen your growth just over the last year. I've seen an exponential growth in you. And it is so cool to be sitting here having a conversation with you uh, in the mentorship. So I just, that's one of the things I've seen. I've seen other people just grow and come out of their shell and just really press into their callings and their giftings. And scripture says that iron sharpens iron. And Jennifer is a pastor's wife. Though she operates in the office of a prophet, I appreciate her viewpoints on things and how she goes about her life. So she knows her calling, she knows her gifting. She stays in her lane, so to speak. Though she can do other things, she focuses and purposes just on what God has put in her, the purpose for her. But you know as a pastor, we give out a lot. And to me, this mentorship feeds me.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of, I'm going to say, basic teaching to in-depth teaching and everything in between. And that's one of the things I love about it. That feeds me. That stirs me. That is something that I desire and I love. And so, and one of the things she said too is that she said, busy people, how does she put it? Busy people take on more and become more busy. And I started thinking about that, and I thought, that is so true, especially in my life. And of course, there's balance. I think there's balance in everything, but the mentorship for me was one other thing that I took and put on my plate, but it has been such a blessing to me and such a growth factor to me. And I think those are the things we need to invest in our life. Not only our heart's desires, but I think that getting that learning, that schooling in is extremely important, because there's so much just pulling at us, so much coming at us, that we need to be intentional when we're researching and digging into the things of God. And to me, this mentorship provides that.
Well, that's beautiful. I love everything you shared, and really honestly relate to it too.
Yeah.
So really, I kind of already asked you who the the mentorship is for everyone.
Yeah.
But bottom line, why would you encourage people to join?
I would encourage people to join, number one, for the growth that you get in your spirit man. And also, because also sometimes we just need a refreshing of our purpose. We need someone who's going to stand beside us and press us into that next for us. There's always a next. And so Jennifer's that person. She really is. She believes in the giftings that God's put in you, and she speaks into that. She encourages that. She is always at our back, pressing us forward in a gentle way. And so I love that part about it.
Yeah, I could not agree with that more. This is not a mentorship where you're going to come in and it's going to feel like she's absent. Actually, she comes into your corner, and she will tell us, is like, you will finish your race. Yes, you will. Just because somebody else didn't finish it or didn't run it well does not mean that will be you. You will run well. You will finish your race. And it shows, because there are times where you need a little extra help. And, we have people who post prayer requests and post about what they're walking through. And Jenn really comes up and supports them and encourages them. And in times like that, that support is totally critical.
Yeah.
Totally critical. And I have a very healthy church. I have incredible an incredible support system and leaders and spiritual parents. Absolutely incredible. But Jenn has overcome so much.
Yeah.
And she's operating in things and walking in chapters of her life that I would really like to get to.
Yeah.
And so when she comes up and encourages me not to throw in the towel when it's getting tougher than tough,
Yeah.
that type of support, it weighs more than, you know, yes, I have a healthy church and support system, but coming from her, it's just like, I can't tell you, it's so inspirational and such a godsend. So I agree with you. Let's see here. Also, Jenn is in the chat. She's in the house.
Oh.
She has made herself known. We love her. All right. What else do I have for you? Okay. Here's the hard-hitting question. Okay. Angie, how would your life be different if you actually never joined the mentorship?
Honestly, I think I would be in a very stale place.
Uh-huh.
I would be in a place of, how can I put this? Because of past hurts, I would probably be in the same place that I was before I joined the mentorship. Just because, number one, I was not challenged to grow. I did not want to work through my pain. And, from being in the mentorship, I've seen others work through their stuff. Reading Jennifer's book was an eye opener, just what she's come through. And I thought, if this girl can go through this, then you know what? I'm gonna follow her. And being a mentor, a mentor is one that you look at their life and you realize, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. It's an encouragement to get out of the place that you're currently in and begin to grow again. And for me, it's been a big step forward, but it's been very much worth it.
I think sometimes the dry ground of life, the weeds that come up and try to choke you, they will convince you can't grow because of what you've gone through. Yeah. And in the last 4 years I've been in this mentorship, every year I wanted to, what I was going through, nobody else could really handle it. Like Jenn was really one of the only ones who I felt like the teachings really, really helped me. Yeah. And I had to come to this place where I said, it doesn't matter what I've gone through. You throw it off, you water where you're at, you pull off the weeds, and the Lord will grow you. Absolutely. And I think it's in Isaiah. It's like, it says, my servant grew up like a tender green shoot in like dry ground, and the Lord will grow us. In this mentorship, whatever wound you have, whatever you're walking through, this place, you are going to heal and you are going to move forward. Yeah. And we do come back into that oasis. We're not meant to be in unhealthy situations our whole life. In this mentorship, you really get coached, even just how to begin to water your life. Yeah. And
I feel like we go from, scripture talks about going from glory to glory to glory. And I feel like I've gone from glory to glory in this mentorship.
Yes.
There's just been so much growth in me and pushing past so much stuff. I mean, to even say, and I've spoken to it purposely about my book to hold myself accountable, because some things in our life are so big that it's like, it's easier to back out and not really venture that way, because it's a big thing. It's a big deal. Mm-hmm. So I love that part about that, is that it's going from glory to glory to glory. And I feel that a lot.
And we're going to talk about the details of the mentorship in just a minute, including how to register and the cost. But when I think about like the cost, like I think about literally that question, how would my life be different if I actually never joined the mentorship? and the cost would be like astronomical.
Wow.
And like, it's more of a cost of like, goodness, if I was not in this mentorship, like I would not have been activated in so many areas of my life. I wouldn't have recognized these dormant things in my life. And really, the cost would be I'd be way behind on my assignments.
Yeah.
Way behind. I would have no idea uh, who I'm called to be. And so we want to really look at our life and what are we doing today? Because what we're doing or not doing today, okay, multiply it by 365 days. And what we do or don't do today really is a signal to us of where we'll be in a year. And really, this mentorship has caused me to, put that pep in my step, take my calling seriously, really take me seriously. How about that? Because we will disqualify ourselves. We will really disqualify ourselves because of low self-esteem, low self-worth, comparing ourselves to other people who are crushing it, killing it, and we'll just
Yeah.
God has enough people. He don't need me. And we don't always think highly of ourselves, and this mentorship is really going to pour into you in who you are and who you're called to be and get you activated. So I believe that for everyone. Angie, anything else to share before we kind of tell people the details and wrap up here?
Yeah, I actually today I was thinking about when before I met Jennifer, 2020, we had her um, uh, scheduled to come to our Paradigm 2020 conference. Now think about this. And before the conference, a few months before, I had this like I'm going to call it like a vision, and I was in the vision. I saw the Lord. He had a drafting board in front of him, and there was uh, a blueprint. And I remember he took the lines of the blueprint and he began stretching them out as if he was expanding the house. And the Lord said, "This is you. I'm going to expand your borders." And then Jennifer came to our Paradigm 2020, which think about it, Paradigm 2020 eyesight. God had to change my eyesight to be able to take in the new that was coming to me. And I would just say to people who are experiencing maybe some prophetic signs of some stretching in your life, because it was definitely some stretching, that's probably a sign that you need to join this mentorship group. Seriously, I'm serious.
All right. That was good. That was the one to end on. That was beautiful. All right, everybody, we have our encouragement. We have our call to action. We would love to see you in the mentorship. It does begin on July 11th. It is a year long. This is a worldwide group. We have people from Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Africa, all over the world. Now, some of my best friends, some of my closest intercessors are like overseas across the country. It's a multi-generational, multi-ethnic, and co-ed group. So it's really, really special. We have 2 live teachings from Jenn every month. She crushes it. They last like 90 minutes long. So they're real. She really, really prepares for you. And these teachings are not stuff that she really repeats across YouTube. Like it's really curated specifically for this group. She has you in mind every time she's developing her teaching and praying about you. I mean, she literally prays for you before she teaches every class. We have like a prayer team that prays for the group before every class. Some things to know about the group is yes, you can connect to Jenn personally any day of the week to ask a question, post a prayer request, share a testimony. She has really fun things like sporadic prophetic pop-ups, and that's a blessing. We have small groups throughout the month where you can process the last teaching and fellowship with one another and pray together. And the activations are pretty lit. Just things from having opportunities to give words of knowledge, to pray for healing, to link up with other students and do evangelism. I mean, she will get you doing things you have never done before, but you're going to do it supported. The topics are like supernatural creativity, faith, finances, intercession, relationships, glory, and worship. So, all across the board, the cost is $307 for the whole year. We make it really easy to do payment plans. So, you can do a payment plan for $31. The class starts July 11th. And that price does have an increase on July 1st. So you do want to get in before then. So it was so fun to be live with all of you today. We hope you'll consider joining me and Angie. We will be looking for you. Angie, thank you so much for coming on and sharing from your heart today. And we'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.